The Procreate Brush Studio received some updates in version 5.4, introducing new controls. I'll go over each of these settings so you can learn how they enhance the brush creation experience. First, in the Stroke Path tab, we have jitter lateral and jitter linear. I'll demonstrate with a very basic brush that has the spacing increased to where you can see each dab. Like spacing jitter, these new properties introduce randomness to the placement of the dabs in a brushstroke. Jitter lateral adds variation perpendicular to the direction of the stroke, causing the brush marks to spread out sideways from the central path. This is useful for creating messy, organic, or scattered effects. Conversely, jitter linear introduces variation parallel to the stroke, meaning it randomly adjusts the spacing between the dabs, resulting in a more broken, inconsistent, or dotted line appearance. Unlike spacing jitter, which only randomizes the spacing in a single direction, jitter linear can shift the dabs forward and backward. I'll remove the jitter properties. Next, let's move on to the Shape tab. The roundness jitter controls allow you to introduce random variations to the shape of the brush dab. Vertical roundness jitter randomly alters the height of each dab, causing it to randomly stretch and compress vertically as the brush stroke is laid down. With a lower spacing, this gives the stroke a broken or wobbly appearance. Similarly, horizontal roundness jitter randomly changes the width of the dabs. When used together, these two jitter controls break the uniformity of the brush shape, adding organic imperfection to every mark. This can help the brush look and feel more like a traditional tool. I'll cancel to avoid applying these changes. Let's check out another new property. I'll select a brush with a lot of texture and transparency like my chalk hard brush. You can get these brushes on my website at aaronrutten.com. There's a link to that in the video description. Under Rendering, the alpha threshold control dictates how transparent areas of the brush dab are visualized in the stroke. By enabling alpha threshold, you tell Procreate to ignore or discard the most transparent pixels of the dab. This has the effect of making the stroke appear harder and more solid. Aside from making a stronger texture, in styles like pixel art, alpha threshold prevents you from painting with semi-opaque colors. The slider controls the threshold for which opacity levels are omitted. A higher value creates a more broken or speckled effect with only the most opaque pixels remaining. I'll cancel these changes. Moving on to the Dynamics tab, we'll have a look at the spacing property. I'll make 2 strokes on the scratch pad, one fast and one slow. This property allows the brush dab spacing to be dynamically linked to the speed at which you draw the stroke. As I increase the spacing slider, you can see that drawing quickly causes the individual dab shapes that make up the stroke to spread further apart, resulting in a more broken, dashed, or textured line. Conversely, drawing slowly will cause the stamps to bunch up closer together, creating a solid, continuous line. This feature is particularly effective for dry media brushes, as it makes the brush feel highly responsive and expressive. You can really get a lot of control over your texture by varying the speed. If you're finger painting, it allows you to simulate varying pressure to change the buildup of the brush. I'll cancel so I don't apply these changes. I'll select my custom smooth fill brush. The final brush property we will explore is the pressure graph within the Apple Pencil tab. This allows you to precisely modify how the pressure applied to the Apple Pencil translates into brush characteristics such as size, opacity, flow, and bleed. This graph provides a visual curve which you can edit to change the brush response. For example, with this brush, pressure is tapering size at the ends of the stroke. If I want to customize how thick or thin that pressure is when I use my lightest pressure, I can do that. The Apple Pencil's low-end pressure sensitivity is not very good, so you may want to adjust that to make it easier to control light pressure. Conversely, if you want to thicken up the tapering on a brush, you can move the curve in the opposite direction. If you want to learn more about curves, see my reference video. That covers the Brush Studio updates in Procreate 5.4. By understanding and utilizing these new controls, you can take your custom brush creation to a whole new level. To dive deeper into every aspect of Procreate and master digital painting, check out my comprehensive Procreate Masterclass available exclusively at aaronrutten.com. I'll see you there.